And looks like maybe Brent, is that Brent, the phone?
Don't know. Brent, is that you?
Well, he's muted, so
No, you can't hear you.
is
Maybe.
it 785
No, it's a 931.
or 913?
913, sorry.
Yeah, that's Brent.
Okay.
I'm going to call the meeting to order. I see in the room we have a quorum and believe we have our fourth member online. So I will call our meeting to order. First item up on our agenda tonight is the approval of our consent agenda. Did everyone receive copies of the vouchers totaling $247,047.96? Were there any questions regarding the vouchers? We also have minutes for the 2/7/2023 meeting. Everyone received copies of the minutes. Were there any questions, corrections, comments regarding the minutes? Hearing none, I'd accept a motion to approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Motion.
Councilman By moves. Is there a second? Councilman McCarty seconds. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Before we go any further, let's see if we can get Brent unmuted.
Yeah. Well, I can't unmute him, but I can ask him to. Hey, Brent, can you unmute? You there, Brent?
Can you guys hear me now?
We can
Yeah,
hear you
we can
now.
hear you now.
Perfect. All right, we are now at our first public comment opportunity. I see we do have members of the public in the room. I'm not sure they're here for comments, but if there are anybody here that would like to make a comment to the council, now would be the time to do that. All right, hearing none, we will now move on to agenda item D. We have today with us Dr. David Jansen, president of Tabor College, who is also serving in the role of interim director of the Central Kansas Center for Entrepreneurship. So David, if you wouldn't mind stepping up to the podium, please. Sure. So that people online can observe. I believe you have a report for us.
Yes, I have a report. So thanks for letting me come and join you today. David Jansen, president of Tabor College, and I am serving in this role as interim director of our new Central Kansas Entrepreneurship Center. I submitted a written report PDF that hopefully got circulated. Yep. Okay. So I won't go through in detail. I'll just hit a few highlights from there and a few more recent things that are going on, and then bring a question for discussion if you want to now or later, if you'd like to. So there's been a lot of great things happening. This is a new venture for us. We hope it will last a long time, but we're figuring it out. And so sometimes we start with fits and starts, but I think we've had a good start. We established a physical space, and that was a good thing. So we have we're calling it the Central Kansas Entrepreneurship Center at Tabor College, and it's there on D Street in Lincoln, a building that has been used for many things over many years. And we had a ribbon cutting for that in January. We had good attendance from a lot of our external and elected officials, external constituents. And so that was a great thing to be able to start. We began our public open office hours then following that, the Monday immediately after that. And so we've been going about a month now. And so there's 11 hours of walk-in office hours available 5 days a week. And we have a student who is staffing that. And then I will be over there from time to time. Our traffic is slow but consistent. We have about one person a week who shows up. So it's they're not knocking down our doors fast, but there are people from the community that are coming and scheduling meetings and getting connected with mentors. That's one of the biggest things. A lot of them are just starting businesses. Some just, well, all of them so far have just been in their home. And that's exactly what we were hoping for and looking for. Is there are people out there doing things that maybe we don't always know about. They're trying to figure out what are next steps. Am I going the right direction? Sometimes they just want somebody to talk to bounce their ideas off and get feedback Each of them so far, we've been able to connect with a mentor who has some expertise in their area. And so we're growing our mentor network as we need it in a way. And so fortunately, we know some people with different areas, and those have all been remote mentors. Nobody's been here, but people across the United States, in fact, from New York to California. And so that's been kind of exciting. We're planning a number of events. So one of the exciting, I guess these are the fun announcements. An elevator pitch competition is coming. So we've just scheduled, and it should show up in the newspaper next week on Wednesday. And by the way, we had our first ad in the newspaper this last week saying that we have these open office hours. Hopefully you saw that. And we'll continue to publish some things on social media as well. This next week we'll have in the newspaper, we hope, an announcement. We'll do a workshop on March 6th at 7 p.m. So that's a Monday night. And we've got 3 people from the college actually that have some experience with definitely speeches and pitches, and some with elevator pitches as well. The idea of an elevator pitch competition is, let's say you get in an elevator and you've got a business idea, and you're looking for somebody who's got some money who will invest in your company and your idea. You've only got a few floors with that person to be able to capture their attention and convince them that they should invest in you, at least give a business card. So a 60 to 90 second pitch. And so we're going to have a workshop that night on how to create a great pitch, followed by, then we'll have 2 rounds of video submission, and then a in-person finals that will be, we think April 10. That's still a tentative date, but probably it's going to be April 10, a Monday night as well. We'd like to have enough submissions to have 3 categories. So a K-12 category. I'm hoping we get maybe some high school students, maybe even middle schoolers that would submit an idea and a pitch, college students, and then community members. And we'd like to have prizes in each of those areas. And I think I can announce this. I just got confirmation today that Emprise Bank is going to sponsor those cash prizes. And so we're excited. Yeah, we really appreciate them stepping up and doing that. We also have a couple of workshops in the works that we think are going to happen yet in March and April. One by the Small Business Development Center from Emporia. They're going to, I believe, do one on business entity formation. So what's the difference between a sole proprietorship, a partnership, an LLC, a corporation, and what are all the forms you have to file and taxes, and then a couple of other on running a small business. So we'll have some announcements coming out on those things. So we're excited about that. We also have an entrepreneur who's going to come and, let's see, make sure I've got the right name of which one's coming. Yeah, Warren Harshman, Harshman Construction and co-owner of Clover Cliff Ranch Bed and Breakfast, is going to come and tell some of his story. And we think that's probably going to be on April 11. And so we'll have announcements out on that. So we're working on others as well for perhaps this spring and certainly in the fall. I'll maybe finish with 2 things. We did have other programming. We did this Ice House class last spring. It was well attended, a 5-week class, and we did a few other presentations. One of the biggest challenges we have right now is finding a full-time director, or at least a part-time, half-time director. And we had an interview recently. Money is always a challenge. Finding being able to pay enough is probably the situation with this person. We've contacted a lot of others. We're looking for that right person, and it hasn't surfaced. And so it's not ideal when the president of the college is serving as the interim, but I have a passion for this and I love it. And so if I wasn't a president, that would probably be my job, is what I would take anyway. It's a lot of fun. And so then the last thing is, I guess, a question to ponder, and we don't need an answer tonight, but what does it look like when there are breaks, like spring break and summer breaks? I'm kind of anticipating lower traffic during that time, especially summer, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's higher traffic when some people have more interest. And so what does staffing look like? Is 10 hours the right number of hours? So we may have a little more conversation on that for those open office hours. So I'll finish with that. Hopefully I didn't go too long.
That's great. Any questions for President Jansen?
What kind of businesses are people coming in wanting to try to start?
Yeah, so
I'm sure there's a whole variety of.
yeah, it's kind of fun. Some from cybersecurity
Okay.
and some it was kind of fun having a PhD in computer science. I was able to talk at a detailed level about AI-based automatic updating DNS configurations in firewalls. That was kind of fun. And, to creative writing and editing and providing those kinds of services to we have a number of student entrepreneurs that we have a videographer who's started a company and is doing great work. We have a protein cup that they're selling for pre and post workouts.
Oh,
And that's kind of fun. And a couple of other
quite delicious, actually.
yeah, have you tried it?
Yeah.
They brought me one and they do a great job of here. We want you to try it.
Oh,
What a great way to start a meeting. And it was fantastic. They're figuring out licensing and those kinds of things. And a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Yeah. Anything else?
This is just more, probably not for now, but before I forget again, Representative Turner,
Oh.
Jake was
Jake Turner's office wants a tour.
Oh, great.
His aide that comes to Hillsboro, she would like a tour, so we need to get that coordinated. So
Yeah, absolutely. I had the good fortune just 2 weeks ago being in his office in Washington, DC.
Okay, good.
We talked a little bit about what's happening here with the Entrepreneurship Center and as well as in Jerry Moran's and Roger Marshall's
Sure.
office. I got to share this news with all of you.
Yeah, great.
They seem to be very interested in what's happening.
Excellent.
Well, we're excited again about the collaboration. It's just been a long time coming, but we know that there's a really bright future. Hillsboro's built on entrepreneurship, and this just kind of formalizes, and recognizes that we understand where we came from, and now we've got a plan for where we're going. So, thanks again for everything.
Thanks for the partnership. We really appreciate it, and I think we're off to a great start in our first year already. There's a lot more to happen.
Sure.
But I think we're getting going.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
Next item up is consideration of ordinance 1363 IRB for Parkside Homes. Mr. Stiles.
So kind of the short story here is Parkside's had industrial revenue bonds for multiple years. That's what they've used to finance the development of the Parkside complex. And so one of the things they want to do right now is sell a section of farmland south of kind of the duplexes they have on the circle there. It doesn't really have much impact on the overall value of the property. I'm not sure why it necessarily was put in there to start with, other than maybe it was potential for future development or it was just kind of packaged in there. But what they want to do is sell that property to an adjacent property owner. It's farm property, and I got a picture of it in there for you just to kind of give you a reference because it's hard to figure out from just the boundaries survey. In order to do that, they have to have our permission along with the bond holders. In this case, it's Central National Bank. So what this does is it allow us to release that property. Well, it gives kind of this, there's a lot of steps to releasing the property, but it's the first part for us to do that. And I would defer to Andrew if you want to have any more detailed conversation about it. Kind of the high level.
That's pretty much it. So as you know, under an industrial revenue bond structure, the city holds title to the property that's involved. And so, as Matt mentioned, the piece that they are looking to sell is pretty much vacant and they haven't spent any of the actual bond money on it. So we're just amending those documents to sort of spring that vacant land from the IRB so they can get the title back in their name and then sell it to whoever they like.
Any questions? Hearing none. I would accept a motion to adopt ordinance 1363 and authorize the mayor to sign.
I make a motion.
Councilman McCarty moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman By seconds. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll poll the council. Councilman By,
Yes.
Councilman Triggers,
Yes.
Councilman McCarty,
Yes.
Councilman Lowen.
Yes.
The ordinance 1363 is hereby adopted and the mayor will sign. Next item up is another ordinance, ordinance 1364, regarding the designation of downtown parking spots. Mr. Stiles.
Thank you, sir. So I didn't have a staff report for this one, but basically what this ordinance does, it allows you to authorize downtown parking spots for specific purposes related to accessibility and safety. So what we found out when we dedicated a spot for Kathy's Floral was that we really couldn't prosecute it in city court if there was a violation of that. We had some pieces of the STO, but the city prosecutor didn't feel comfortable with that. So what we're doing, and this is kind of a two-stepper, if you approve the ordinance, adopt the ordinance, and that allows you to designate those spots by resolution. And so we have a follow-up resolution, which designates a spot for Kathy's Floral. It's for safety and accessibility concerns. So pretty straightforward. I didn't really have a lot to add to it other than that, and it just gives you the permission to do that. We did put the safety and accessibility in there as kind of the guiding principles. If you choose to,
So this is two separate.
two separate deals, you have two separate actions. You'll have to approve or adopt the ordinance if you choose to. And then you have to follow up with the resolution to designate the spot for Kathy's Floral.
Any questions? Hearing none, I'd accept a motion to adopt ordinance 1364 regarding the designation of downtown parking spots and authorize the mayor to sign.
Like that motion.
Councilman By moves. Is there a second? Councilman McCarty seconds. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll poll the council. Councilman Lowen,
Yes.
Councilman McCarty,
Yes.
Councilman Driggers,
Yes.
Councilman By.
Yes.
That ordinance is passed and adopted and the mayor will sign. We'll now move to the resolution directly impacting Kathy's Floral Designs, and that's resolution 2023-02, which is designating a parking spot for Kathy's Floral Designs. I think unless you have any further questions for Matt, I would accept a motion to approve and adopt resolution 2023-02.
Is that ordinance, is that where the sign is now? Is that where the spot's gonna be?
I think
Is that-
so.
Is that,
I really like it there.
Okay. okay, well, I'll make that motion then.
Okay, Councilman By moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman McCarty seconds. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll poll the council. Councilman By.
Yep.
Councilman Driggers,
Yes.
Councilman McCarty,
Yes.
Councilman Lowen.
Yes.
Resolution 2023-02 is hereby adopted and approved. So I think we got ourselves in a spot where now we can absolutely enforce that, you know, what we did last time. So,
Appreciate it.
and I think, is there anything you'd like to say? I mean, you had a nice conversation with Matt and I, and things seem to be working out well. And
I have to say thank you. Appreciate it. It's been working out very nice and I
Yeah.
really do appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, especially right before Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
That could
That
have
was
been-
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
well, that's great. Well, we're glad to have you downtown and want to see you continue to flower and flourish. Sorry.
Serving Hills.
Sorry.
Man.
That was
Snapper.
particularly bad, but okay. Next item up is selection of city's property and liability insurance agent. And as we have in the past, I am going to recuse myself and I am going to turn the meeting over to Council President Driggers. And he will chair this meeting, although he's remote, he's still participating and involved. So Councilman Driggers, I'm going to step out and just have somebody come get me when you're complete. Thank you.
Sounds good. Councilman Bai, were you also recusing yourself?
I am not this time.
You're not this time? Okay.
Nope.
Sounds good. So in this, Matt, do you want to talk through anything before we have any of the participants that are there speak?
I don't really have much to add, past what we
Okay.
talked about at the last meeting.
So this is a little bit odd for me being remote, but I guess I would say there's probably a couple representatives there in the chamber.
Correct. We have Kakeem Kunatov from the Insurance Center and Eric Rector from Ag 360.
Okay. So from the Insurance Center, Kakeem, would you like to speak?
Oh, yeah, thanks. I gotta just, addition to the letter that we gave you last, at the last meeting, but we couldn't vote, so I'll make it brief. So in the past, thank you first of all that letting us serve state policy. In the past 9.5 months, it's almost 10, it's been 10 months. We've been working with Eileen with the city administration on the policy. And then this period, all we did, Eileen and I, we held ourselves to pretty high standards. So, and we did a pretty good job. So we heard this from the city employees and city administration. And we just, as a local employees, probably had a better vision what's the city experiencing at this period of time. So, and then in this past 9.5 or 10 months, we had to do our work. In the first 3 months after we took over the policy, we had to bid against the pool, the municipal pool. We won this bid. And after that, this recommendation came into light. And we just felt that we have to go through some obstacles, but we do our job well, and we are going through this. And this time, I think we will try to overcome this obstacle again. But here's the thing: we had to pull up some information and look at when was the last time the city's policy was actually reviewed and the agency was reviewed. It was in 2006. 17 years ago. And I talked to the Dolores, and in as much as she can recall, and probably can find it somewhere in the minutes, that then it was advised to be reviewed every 2 to 3 years, not 9 or 10 months after somebody starts servicing the policy. So we, comparing to what we've done in the past 9 months, I don't think that you even see the job done by IMA, the previous agency out of Wichita, that services most of the Sedgwick County, including the city of Wichita. I don't think you got any help from them besides large pizzas or something like that. That's what they brought. We've done a pretty good job. We uncovered a lot of discrepancy, and at this moment, we're just asking the council that even in the new recommendation, it says review every 2 years, not every 10 or 9 months. So at this point, what we're asking us, let us do our job. I'm talking us because on behalf of Eileen and myself, that we do review it every 2 years, and let us do our job. Let us finish this year and the next year, and at the end of the next year policy, revisit this, and again, then it would be fair, absolutely fair, to have another discussion and see how you compare the policies or the agency. So that's basically, we're asking to be fair. and follow your own recommendations for this year and from 2006. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Sorry, there was some interference there. Was there a question?
No, I don't think so, Brent.
Okay. So, any questions at all?
What was the impetus for trying to look at another agency right now? I'm just curious.
Yeah, well, when we
What was
approved
the motivating factor?
Yeah, we approved the process back in December. One of the things is we didn't do it originally, when we gave the insurance center the business back in March of last year. So we did have some people come in and ask questions about that and why they didn't have an opportunity to look at that as well, because it has been with IMA for a long time. So that was one of the reasons why. That's the well, yeah, I think it was the issue of fairness and, having an open competition for it was something that came to light, and, that's.
That we hadn't, when we
When we brought the insurance center on, we didn't have a process for that.
didn't have a process.
No. So we put this process in place and council approved that. We did the interviews and put out the RFPs and held the interviews and did the whole thing. So Brent, you still with us?
I'm
Maybe.
sorry, I'm getting. So, if there's a representative from Act 360 also,
Yeah, Eric Rector's in the room. Eric, would you like to?
Eric, would you care to have any comments?
Sure.
No, I just want to say thanks again for giving us the opportunity, meeting with the subcommittee to go over the specific questions in regards to what our agency can and cannot do for the city of Hillsboro. I think we came to a good conclusion of the strengths of what our agency actually brings, to this community. Having a long-standing relationship with those in this community and being born and raised here, especially with the family that I married into, we bring a lot of different opportunities to the community that have been seen throughout the years, that we have been around. In regards to the strengths of our agency, I think the best thing to really point out is the length in which we have been in the business, the teamwork effort that we have, the amount of years of experience, vast experience throughout our entire network of agencies. At one time, we had 7 agencies. We have now scaled that back to 4. And so throughout all these years, we've had a lot of vast experience with municipalities, schools, other commercial and business opportunities. And so we felt like this was really something that we could do well. We have a lot of experience in this department, and having that tie to this community truly does mean a lot. I think that you get your best results when you have a little skin in the game, credibility, relationships. Those obviously mean a lot to you when you have to see these people every day and live amongst them and as you're serving them. So I think that goes a long way, and it's something that we would greatly appreciate and love the opportunity to do. So is there any questions in regards to our specific agency that you might not know about already? I don't know how much you guys have already discussed.
Not a ton, but.
And if not, I mean, you can always hit us up later or give me a call or whatever you need to do. Be glad to talk to anybody. So, but I appreciate it.
Thank you, Eric.
Yep.
Matt,
Yeah.
do you have anything else you want to add? Your recommendation is to move the business to Ag 360 based on the distributed material. Is there anything you want to add to that?
Nothing really. Everything is in the staff report there. We did the interviews. We had 3 interviews. Felt like it was a pretty fair process. And at the end of the day, we came to the conclusion that if we had to pick an agent that we want to represent us, the group was unanimous that they thought Ag 360 would be the right choice for the city of Hillsboro.
Any further discussion or questions from the council?
I don't have anything.
Hearing none, is there a motion to accept the recommendation to move the business to Ag 360?
I was on the committee and I thought it was good, so I'll make that recommendation since I was on the committee after talking to some staff members.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
A motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
So I'm gonna need a little help interpretation here of ayes and which direction we had there.
Okay, so we had yeses from Councilman McCarty and Councilman By, and no from Councilman Lowen.
So we're gonna
Okay.
need Councilman Driggers to vote.
Yes, so you'll have to vote on this one, Brent.
Yep. So I will say aye also. So we have 3-1 and motion approved. So with that, we can go to Lou. While we're waiting, guys, I have a family emergency here that I'm going to have to drop off on. So I apologize, but I'm going to need to jump off the call.
Hope everything's all right, Brent.
Say that again.
I said, I hope everything's okay.
It will be, but I'm going to need to get off now. So
Okay.
thank you, and I'll check back with you guys later.
Thanks, Brent.
Thanks.
That's looking for you.
Hide and go seek.
I'm very happy. Bye.
Recommendation.
Councilman Driggers had to drop off.
Okay. So we completed item 4. Okay, now we are going to move to business item E5, generator service contract, Mr. Stiles.
Thank you, sir. So we, in the past, we've had generator contracts with Foley Equipment, and most recently been the generator contractor. Last year, we had those serviced internally by Joe Alvarez, but Joe's retired. The water department and sewer department have suggested that we go back to Foley for an agreement with them because that expertise is no longer with the city. So what you have in front of you is an addition, a new service agreements for, it's a 3-year agreement, but really it's got a contract where you can terminate at any time. So it's basically just setting the price for per service. So it's one of those things where you can, opt out whenever you want to. The contract set up to have 2 services a year every 6 months. It's $14,288.38 per year. We also solicited a quote from J&M Ag Services in North Newton that they were $23,000 more per year because they thought it was going to take about a day per generator, which I don't quite understand why that was the case, but it doesn't seem to be necessary. So these are all divided out by departments. The department sewer has 2, the main lift station and the portable generator. That one's $5,323.42. City Hall generator, this generator here, is $2,695.04 per year. The water plant, that's a newer one. We hadn't had that one serviced before. We were kind of doing that one in-house too, but they felt like we should probably have that one serviced by somebody professionally as well. That one was $4,374.72. And the Scout House, it goes back to Parks Department. That's $1,895.20 per month. So total, or per year, excuse me. So the total is $14,288.38. And we'll work that into the budget. Was kind of anticipated, so we got some room on there to do that.
Any questions? How does this compare to previous contracts?
It's about 10% higher than the last one we had.
But that's been how many years ago?
2 years ago.
Okay, well, that's, I guess, not too surprising.
It's not super surprising, but yeah, it is
Okay.
significantly cheaper than the comparative quote we had.
Well, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, any other questions? Hearing none, I'd accept a motion to approve the proposed agreement with Foley Equipment for servicing city generators at a cost of $14,288.38 per year for a term of 3 years. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Is that a fixed price, by the way?
It is.
Okay. So, and then authorize the mayor to sign. Does somebody care to make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
Councilman Pai moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Councilman McCarty seconds. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 3-0. Okay, we're into our discussion portion of the meeting and we are going to talk equipment. Mr. Stiles?
Yes, sir. So we kind of went back after our last meeting and narrowed our list of focus, not a ton, but what we've kind of come down to are the priorities for this year. We need a replacement mower at the golf course. We're down the large mower that we use. Avery is spec'd out a Ventrac mower. It's a tractor style mower. It's much more heavy duty than what we've used in the past. We've been using Hustlers, which are heavy duty too, but this is kind of designed more for the long hours we would put on it. We do up to 10-12 hours a day sometimes in the summer, and that's every day of the week. So it's one of those things that it's going to have a lot of hours on it, a lot of significant use. So we have also, the price also includes the deck with this, which we recommend to go on a lease purchase agreement. It's $43,811 for the mower and the deck. Residential trash truck, that's one we've talked about too. We've kind of narrowed the price down. We feel like we could get a pretty decent one at $170,000. It would be a used truck. We've been trying to narrow the focus down a little bit too, because we found some in California that we like, but we'd like to test drive it first. And send somebody out to California is not out of the question, but there are options in Texas and Iowa and Nebraska. So we're kind of on the lookout for those. We would probably want to do that. We'd want to do this one on lease purchase as well. We've got money in the trash fund, and we raised rates last year on some of that stuff too, with the anticipation of purchasing this and some other things. So I think the trash truck is an important piece. The tandem axle dump truck, that one we had Crater last year, so we're down that piece of equipment. We use that one quite a bit. All the departments actually use that one. It's the biggest, you can haul the largest amount. It's just a lot more useful piece of equipment than some of the smaller ones we have. Decent replacement cost. I think we can get about 125. Again, this is going to be a used piece, so we'll be purchasing it. We'd recommend again on a lease purchase once we identify it, kind of group all those together and go out with one kind of purchase. The sprayer for the golf course, it's a little bit confusing on this because it actually has it comes with the Toro that it sits on. So you have the utility vehicle and the sprayer. It's one of those things we can probably get by with what we have, and the lead time on one is 8 to 12 months. And so even if we put our name on the list now, we're probably looking at next year when we get it. So, you know, it may be wise to put our names on the list if it's something we feel like we need to get next year. I would recommend we look at doing that next year. You know, pushes it into a different budget cycle, but would be another thing we'd want to look at with a lease purchase agreement. So we're really lease purchasing all of this equipment. Single axle dump truck with a snow plow. This one's not probably as critical as the other equipment. Honestly, haven't had to push a lot of snow. That could change tomorrow or Thursday, but it's not something we've been doing a ton of. It also is what we spread salt with, so that's probably what we do more of. So, you know, that one we can probably work around. We'd estimate that one at $100,000 on a replacement cost. Those are, I mean, big heavy trucks they're big, heavy, and expensive at this point, and it's hard to find quality replacement at a used market because people are just running them longer. So we feel like we can probably wait on that one. But the three we really need to look at right now are the mower at the golf course, the trash truck, and the tandem axle. So what we'd want to do is, you know, we don't have those necessarily identified other than the golf or the tractor mower at the golf course. So, you know, if that was a group of purchases you felt comfortable with, we would start trying to narrow that down and get the specs on it and get some lease purchase stuff kind of put in place too. That's kind of where we're at. And then I would say that the list of equipment is longer than this. This is our, what we feel like is the priority right now. So.
Any questions? I would say that from where I sit, we can't afford to get too far behind. I mean, you know, we're behind it already, and you know, the longer we wait, the more expensive it gets, and you know, the more it costs us to do work with the wrong type of equipment. So, you know, it takes longer, it's harder to do. And so I would certainly, it would be my desire that we have the city administrator and his department heads pursue those three pieces of equipment. And I would also add the sprayer in there just because it's such a long lead time. I think, you know, starting now, you know, it could be 18 months from whenever we start. So, you know, we probably need to get
There's a
going.
little bit of a risk with that one, you know, it's 8 to 12 now. It could be 18, it could be 6, you know, it just
Right.
depends on how Toro.
Right. So I don't know that you're looking for a motion, are you?
Well, I don't know that we have enough information about what we're going to choose to purchase to say, yes, let's go buy this, but we would like some kind of, you know, consensus that this is what we want to do and that we're okay with that. And then when we bring them back, you know, we're ready to kind of move forward.
And do you feel like there's any formal action we need to take?
Not necessarily at this point, yeah.
Give them
When
direction.
it comes back, then that's will be your opportunity to make some formal action.
I'm just gonna go Councilman by.
Yeah, if you want to gather together some numbers and stuff, so you know exactly what we're looking at.
Councilman Bakari,
Yeah, we need to do it.
Councilman Long.
I would affirm moving forward, and trying to find stuff.
Okay,
Okay,
well, there you go.
do it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, we were ready for your city administrator report, Mr. Stiles.
Thank you. We talked about signs. Kathy, you have anything else to add about the sign? I just mentioned it.
So.
Okay. Good to go. Sewer repairs, we're getting busy on that. We're completing some point repairs. We actually fixed about 40 feet of main last week. And they're beginning some prep and clean of the services. And then we found had a situation come up earlier this week over on Floral, where there's a section that we found to be collapsed there too. So we're immediately going down there and fixing that one because the homeowner was having issues getting out. So we've kind of redirected a little bit, but we're still on target, still moving forward. You may have seen Johnson Services out and cleaning stuff. They've been pretty busy. So that's all moving forward. The YEC, which is the Youth Entrepreneurship Challenge from Network Kansas. We originally had a plan for the first of this year, but we've had some turnover of the schools in the county. We didn't have any registrations as of a week ago. So they decided to cancel that for this year. And we'll kind of regroup and try for next year. That's the high school level one. This Hillsboro High School did have one that they've been kind of working on. They got a business teacher. Her approach has been more of a class project, and so they may still apply to the state competition as a wild card. They have an opportunity to do that. So I sent her that information yesterday. So they may end up in the competition yet. Tabor College is hosting a DECA, which is the kind of the college equivalent of that, on this Friday, actually.
Yep.
So are you're no?
Nope, they said they've got scaled back as well and they didn't need
Okay.
as much help. So I did participate in a kind of a preliminary judging / coaching session with a number of teams, and was certainly very impressed with the students and in the work that they had put into their pitches. So
Great.
it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Cool. So that'll be this Friday. So we'll see how that goes. Rural housing incentive districts. This is one that we're working on. Specifically, we have a need to move forward with it because the old town building is sold, and the developer or the owner of that wants to use this tool to remodel the upstairs apartments, which is now allowed through state statute. In order to do that, we have to complete what's called a housing needs assessment, which is required by the state. We don't have enough time in the office to do that, so we farm this out to Wichita State. They're going to complete that project for us, including doing a lot of focus groups and interviews about kind of the market and things, and the technical research for that. So we farm that out to them, and they'll probably get going here in the next week or two. So we're kind of moving forward with that. Got some recent hires. Fire department appointed a new water sewer person. I haven't heard back if they accepted that. We had the interview and extended the offer on Friday. So waiting to hear back on that. We also had the core communities job fair yesterday. Talked to a lot of people. Had pretty steady traffic, not a ton, but pretty steady. And I think we had 3 applications come through on that. Actually, I got another one this morning, so 4. So we're looking forward to kind of going that. I think it was a pretty successful event. I didn't get a chance to talk to many of the other businesses there. There were 15 total, and I think had a pretty decent turnout. So
For something that we pulled together pretty quickly.
yeah,
You know, the thing when I was asked about expectations, I said, the only thing I can guarantee is if we don't do it, nobody will show up and there won't be any applicants.
exactly.
So.
Swimming pool feature, if you go in the way back machine to last fall, Kara was talking about the pool and the climbing feature and the 0 entry. It's kind of a hazard. It's really hard the lifeguard is starting to become kind of broken. So what they've done is they removed that, and we got that pulled out last week, and we're going to fix a temporary thing that we think we can develop in there. And we're hoping to do something kind of different with this. There's a couple options to replace that piece. And so we're going to have people in the pool vote on them. We're going to have them out there. And we're going to say, hey, what kind of feature do you want for this pool? So we're going to see how that kind of shakes out. And then we'll bring you guys something with that. We're just trying to find some community input on what that new fixture needs to be. So we'll see. I don't know. A couple add-ons to the report, the fire department, the committee on the fire station, they appointed Corey Unruh and Matt Hine to that. And then I think Blake and Barney were gonna serve on that as well. They're gonna have their meeting. They're gonna have another kind of pre-meeting and then meet with you guys starting in March. So they're gonna move forward with that.
Will they contact?
Yeah,
us?
we'll let you know when that's gonna be. We got news from the Community Foundation that we had 3 grants funded through the Community Foundation to this cycle. So the fire department and police department both got $2,000 grants, which we're excited for that. And then one of our grants that we put in, we got $2,000 for one of the high school projects, which is that mural project downtown. So we've got $2,000 to help move that project forward. We'll probably have to put in, that much to move that one forward
Where's
too.
that
But
mural going?
they've talked with the bowling alley.
Oh, that wall.
Yeah, on the long side there. So and it's going to be what the idea was, one of the welcome to or greetings from kind of murals. So there'll be more on that as it kind of moves forward. It's going to be, I think, a cool project. We're excited the Community Foundation can support some of those things for us.
Yeah.
And then also found out today that the museum is hosting a traveling exhibit called Notorious Kansas. It comes from Smoky Hills in Salina, the Smoky Hill Museum. It's about notorious Kansans. It's a pretty cool traveling exhibit. But Kara was talking with the new owners of the Old Town building, and they're going to host the traveling exhibit in the Old Town building. So be a great opportunity to have it, the museum partnering up with the Old Town building. And they're going to showcase sort of what they're talking about doing with that building. I think it'll be a really cool partnership. And that should be, I think April is what we're going to have that in town. So look for more information on that and how that shakes out. So it's really cool. If you haven't been over to Old Town, I'm sure that they would walk you around if you wanted to. But they've cleaned it out. I mean, they've carted all kinds of trash out of there, and it's pretty clean, at least on the main floor, and you can take a look around. And
Look, hadn't been in there since I worked there.
bro, I don't know that it's changed all that much, but it certainly is a lot cleaner than it was the last time I was in it. And they were up there doing some work on windows today, so they're moving forward and wanting to remodel that and turn it into something. So looking forward to helping them with that if we can. And that's everything I got, sir.
Okay, any questions? Hearing none, we are now at our second and final public comment opportunity. Is there anyone from the public that would, I see we have a member of the public online, and we still have ladies, any questions about what you observed today? So you're gonna all pass Mr. Knoll's quiz tomorrow?
Twice.
Great, nice. Well, we're glad you're here. Thanks for coming. Okay, I will close the second public comment and we will go to council comments. Councilman By,
I don't have anything today.
Councilman McCarty.
I'm glad we got some of the high school projects going. I talked to Matt about one of them, and surely that probably be in the works here before too long.
Great.
Just apologize for missing the last meeting. I just totally slipped my mind.
Getting old.
Senior moment or something. I don't
That's
know.
all right. Well, we're glad you're here today. Okay. Any other business that needs to come before the council?
I would say that I have been talking with Mr. Knoll about having that lunch meeting we discussed at the last meeting. And I think we've got it narrowed down to March.
Okay. Maybe
Second
after
or third.
basketball
Yeah,
season?
after basketball season.
Well,
March 2nd or 3rd is what we're looking at right now.
Well,
Or first and second.
basketball needs to go a little longer than that, actually, but if we could, this would be nice.
See what you can do about it.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, any other,
Beating that boy.
yeah, any other comments? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.